Welcome back. Let's see if we got this going here. All right. Welcome back, everybody. I am the Ancient One, and we're going to be playing Star Trek Online again. We're going to get into the game and play a little Mirror Universe instance again. This time with a different character of mine. Last time I played with my Romulan Fleet Admiral Maysat on her Voth Bastion Flight Cruiser. And today we're going to jump into did we do it on my flight cruiser, or did we do it with my I think we did it on my first tune. It was the Robow, Jensen Hathaways. So we're gonna go on my flight cruiser this time, and we'll get right into it. I'm just waking up, so here's my morning coffee. Saying hi to everybody. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're watching and enjoying your morning coffee as well on a pleasant Sunday morning, May something, or June. Actually, we're in June now, right? Oh my gosh. See, I'm not awake yet. I don't even know what month it is. Pretty sad, right? All right. Well, this is Maysat. I don't even remember if I even streamed her before, but here she is, my Romulan. Maysat, she's great. She took over as my main tune a couple years back, and let me just give you a quick overview of her ship. It's a good one. As you can see, this is the RRW Lady Charlotina, Voth Bastion Flight Deck Cruiser, lockbox drop, and when I received this ship, I literally jumped up and down for joy. Now I do remember streaming this little ship before, but I'm gonna do it again because I love it so much. As you can see, it only goes into 4 unlocks here. Nothing special. The first unlock is absorb. I can't even talk yet. More coffee. Absorptive hull plating gives you buffs to your damage resistance and kinetic damage resistance, rapid repairs, which is great. For the second tier mastery unlock on the ship, it regenerates at 11.1 hull every 3 seconds in space, and twice that amount when we're out of combat. That's 22.2. I'm doing the math. The coffee's starting to work. And the third tier unlock for this ship is quick development, which is recharging and the launching of your carrier pets, which is great. And the fourth unlock is 25%, another buff for your hull plating. You get plus 25 emergency damage resistance and radiation damage resistance, which is great. I managed to upgrade a bunch of my weapons for this particular craft, using anti-proton beams for 2 dual beam anti-proton dual beams for my 4 weapons slots, and they are upgraded to, this one's upgraded to 14, this one is up to 13, and we've got an Omega set right now in place, so I can get all those all that cool technology. This one's up to 13, and we've got a advanced radiant quantum torpedo launcher at 13. As you can see, I've got Borg consoles in place for deflector, and I got engines. I got the whole set, so which is really nifty when you're in battle and you need that extra boost when you're taking massive amount of damage. You get the automative regenerative resequencer, which usually kicks in during the most crucial times, which is really helpful, and the shields, which is great. And our aft weapons slots, we have a maxed out Breen Transphasic Cluster Torpedo, up to 14. I think that's pretty much maxed out at this point. This does incredible, massive amount of damage. It just takes a little while for it to reset. Once it's loaded up, it creates 10 level 70 transphasic mines and a pattern, and you just watch those numbers kick away when it's dealing damage. It's just incredible. We got a gravimetric photon torpedo at 13. We've got a proton weapon at 13, and we've got another beam array at 13. And over devices, we've got lots of cool stuff. We've got the Nimbus Distress Call. We've got Romulan Distress Calls, which you get in your reputation marks packages. And we have Delta Alliance reinforcements. We also have in engineering a plasmatic leech, which steals power, which is always good, always a good thing. We have the Aceton Assimilator, which really, I don't think it really does much, but it looks really cool graphically on the screen. It takes away about 15 power points on any craft to fly within its radius, and minimal amount of radiation damage, almost negligible, 34.2 every second. I mean, it stacks, and if after a while, but it's really nominal. And like if you're in there for like 3 seconds, and you're usually in and out, like within 3 or 4 seconds, you take 100 points of damage. Big whoop. And when it is close enough, sometimes it'll kick out a little bit more damage. But anyway, that's the damage over time cost for if taking damage when you're in its radius, but its initial blast, you get 1,227 radiation damage for every 5 seconds. For every second, once you're hit with energy. Once hit with energy. So, okay. I added to my hull capacity an enhanced RCS accelerator, and I've got a universal proton stabilizer in there to complete the set there for the part of the protonic arsenal set, which is always nice. Okay, jumping down to science consoles, we've got this really nice, very proprietary console that comes with the Voth ship. This is a reflective shield amplifier that's stacked with the Borg regenerative shields. You're almost guaranteed to have shields, come up whenever you're in trouble. So that's always a good thing. We have the constrictive anchor, which is a nice thing to have. That definitely debuffs anybody's. If you're within range of it, you definitely take a hit with flight controls. And in our tactical console, we've got what do we have here? We have buffs for my anti-proton damage, a couple of those, and we have a sustained radiant field also part of the Protonic set. And that is adds to hull healing and adds to weapon damage and shield heals. So that's always a good thing. And in my hangar, I've got some Voth Elite Heavy Fighters. Now, I see on the boards a lot of people, a lot of haters with the Voth, towards the Voth Heavy Fighters, but I think they're great, and they serve me well, so I'm going to keep them. Okay, let's get into it, shall we? And, of course, I'm going to bore you with clearing out my inventory a little bit, so I'll stop talking and clear out some inventory in the meantime as you watch me do this. I'm not sure if any of you guys have checked out Bridge Crew yet. I highly recommend it. It's the VR platform game, Star Trek game that just came out. It is just as good as people have been saying. I think even better. It's really an interactive game. You play with 3 other people on the bridge, and you each take a station. There's engineering, there's tactical, there's captain's chair, and there's helm. And you all get to talk to one another in a setting where you have to work with each other in order to complete a mission, which is super cool. And I've been finding that everybody that who's come on are quite the Trekkie. They all enjoy it, some more than others, but for the most part, everyone has a love for Star Trek and is into role-playing, and they all love to play the role of, whatever officer they choose to play on board the bridge. Yeah, that's the word, bridge. More coffee. So kudos to the people at Ubisoft who just launched the game. Definitely have been running into some bugs on the game, which kind of sucks too, because once you run into a glitch in a mission, you have to reset the mission, which means you lose your crew, and you have to be reassigned a new crew, which means 3 or 4 new players have to come in. And so once you establish a rapport with the players that you've been playing with, that all disappears when there's a glitch, and you have to start all over again with a brand new crew, which is unfortunate. And hopefully Ubisoft will get to work with that. I think the popularity of that game is definitely going to grow. It definitely has so much potential to be an amazing, amazing, amazing game. Hopefully they'll add more ships to pilot, and there'll be more races to play and missions to do, and all that kind of stuff. I think it's just the tip of the iceberg right now with this game. So if you guys don't have a VR headset, I would recommend going out and buying one and jumping into the game. I mean, it's probably the most fun I've ever had playing a video game. In fact, it's like a dream come true. My 10-year-old self is, beside himself. It was always the dream to kind of simulate. It's like a holodeck. It's like you're on a holodeck and you're running simulations, and it's definitely the next level and very exciting. Very, very exciting game to play. We are still going to get rid of stuff, and maybe I can get into the game now. Let's see. Here we go. Let's get into Hammer Invasion with our Voth Bastion Flight Cruiser. After this, I will jump into my next character. I'll play my Klingon. Lekari. Who's a tactical officer. May Sot here is a science officer, but she's piloting an engineering ship. This is an engineering. The Voth Bastion Flight Cruiser is a ship that is an engineering ship. So it gives buffs to shield frequency modulations and command, and it's also got attract fire. I'm not going to attract fire in this particular instance for the obvious reasons. I don't want to, unless I really need to draw fire away from one of my friends here who's taking too much, and if I'm within range, I'll switch over. But as you can see, I've stacked my EPS conduit chain here. So it gives me a little bit extra in power over there with my EPS flows. So here we go. I usually tell my hangar pets to attack the target that I have targeted. So that's what I've got going on so far. Looks like everybody's performing the rounds. Again, with the Mirror Universe instance, you want to have a engineering console to power the substations really quick, and you want science console to take care of those rifts really quick. So assuming that everybody's doing their job properly and with their appropriate ship, they are indeed going to work as efficiently as possible. And here we go. Oh, I didn't do a thing. I don't see one of my teammates here. That was quick. Oh wait, here we go. That was strange. Okay. It started and it stopped really quick for some reason. Here we go. But you see how quick it's maybe like 2 seconds before I get that power transfer to activate. So we are on our way to our second tier defense. We'll close this rift if there aren't any bad guys around. See how much slower it takes when I'm not using a science vessel. It takes maybe like 5 seconds. I'll take the 2 seconds any day. And obviously you want to oh, there we go. Yeah, let me try to. I'll demonstrate how much damage this Breen Transphasic does. So watch the Terran frigate and watch the numbers just spike when that Transphasic cluster torpedo hits him. Look at that. Whoa, that's got to be what, 20,000 at least, 30,000 points of damage there. I have to take them out. Alright, I'm going to make my way to another. I mean, everyone's pretty strong here. Nobody's really taking too much of a hit. Hey, everybody. Watch this Terran frigate. Boom. Knocked him down 80% there. It looks like my hangar pets are taking a bit of damage. You know what? I'm not still getting. I don't think I'm getting audio from. My game. So where are we? We're on third defense tier. Let me get some more hangar pets out there in the meantime. Let me see if I can get this audio thing sorted out. Oh, here. Let's try this. Nope, that's not it. No, that's not it, is it? Check. No. Well, I'll figure that out another time. That was interesting. I got a weird, interesting little buff there. Combat performance boosts from the Fleet Research Lab. What's that? Got me. Oh. But I'll take it. Yeah, look at that. That's one tough. This is one tough little ship, I gotta say. I'm still trying to figure out how to get in-game audio into my stream. I haven't been able to do that. I thought I achieved it this round, but that is simply not the case. And we're not going to get to close this rift in time. But the one thing, so, you know, the one thing about Star Trek Bridge Crew is that you have to talk to people. In this game, you don't have to talk to anybody. You just do your own thing. It's definitely a cooperative game, and a game that is, you know, if you're an extreme introvert, you're probably not going to like it. And if you don't like talking to people, you will hate it. But I think it's fantastic. You meet really nice people. Everybody I've met has been really, really nice. And if you're worried about, you know, if you're really, you want sensitive types out there who are a little worried about things like that, and it's, you know, everyone's out to have fun, you know, and, you know, they're, you know, to work together and in, you know, completing missions, which is, you know, kind of like the idea of Star Trek. It's not so much, it's not like a real, you know, there's times when you have to engage the enemy, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's, you know, it's really about problem solving. It's not so much about, you know, firing off, you know, photon torpedoes whenever, every chance you get, which is something, you know, this game is all about. It's all about, you know, maximizing your damage potential and in every way, and, you know, buffing your defenses and all that stuff. So, I mean, nothing wrong with that. I'm not judging or anything, but it's definitely a game about problem solving, and I really like that. and talk, communicating with, people who are, real people, not AI all the time. Dumb AI. I mean, I'm sure we're going to get to a point where AI is going to be, it's going to be seamless. It will be a seamless interaction talking to an AI computer and a human being. I don't think it'll happen in my lifetime, but maybe eventually. And take that. And that. Watch this. Transfer. Watch this damage. Boom. Yeah. I mean, those reconnaissance explorers are really tough, so we'll drain him. What I usually like to do is eject warp plasma around the singularities, these gravity wells, and trap them all in the warp plasma cloud while they're stuck in a gravity well. And it's a good way to do some DOT to a bunch of enemies. I mean, I really kind of spec this guy out as a true cruiser. It's not really a fighter. She does some hefty damage, but she's more of a strategic build than anything else. Which this is really cool, the polymorphic probe array. Um, it launches 50 viral probes, which is really cool. And if you remember some of the instances where those come into play, they'll definitely debuff you after a while, and they disable your subsystems when they get close enough. So. Which is always annoying when that happens. We did pretty good. We closed 31 rifts so far. We've kept the starbase nice and healthy, and we're on to our final Act 3 of this game, which is taking out the... well, actually, we're in Act 2 now. We have to close off the remaining rifts and fight off the last, basically it's the last wave of Terran fighters coming through the rifts, and then Act 3 will be the big battle with the Dreadnought, which they should really make a little more tougher. It's too easy to destroy that thing. The ISS study is through. That's our Dreadnought. That's our ultimate target, but we have to close off these rifts so that it doesn't get away when it takes too much damage. And you can see my regenerative shields kicked in, but I'm also taking a whole mess of damage there. And we have a really good team who is taking care of the rifts. Someone's on board with the rifts. And that's it for our Dreadnought. Really quick Act 3 there. I've been collecting my competitive marks because I don't have too many of those, and that's it. Ta-da, ta-da. Let's see how we're doing in terms of our marks here real quick, but okay. I have 800 competitive marks already, which is good. Getting there. I don't think I have enough to complete all 5 tiers yet, but it's definitely a good start. So these would be the mirror invasion is I think I have 2 mirror invasion. The one from last time we had a mirror invasion, which I have yet to complete, and then we have the new one. Where's the new one? Okay, here's the. I think, is this the new one or is this the new one? Mirror invasion, mirror invasion, mirror invasion. Okay, I guess I did the other one. This is the new one. The rewards are the Agni Field Rifle. I think the last mirror invasion reward was the Zephyrin Cochrane rifle. They like to give away rifles during the mirror invasion for some reason. Anyway, oh, she might be equipped with it. Actually, let's take a look, shall we? Does she have a Zephyrin Cochrane rifle? Oh, she does. That's my cat Buttercup, who's in a very happy mood right now. Okay, here's Maysat, and she's equipped with the Zephyrin Cochrane shotgun rifle. That was the reward for the last mirror invasion, I believe. I may be mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong. I have this maxed out to 14. And it is now at the very rare ground weapon status. It's doing 261.9 physical damage, 209.5 DPS over damage per second, and it has a 50% chance to repel people. So basically, once you fire it, it knocks them back a little bit. 2% critical chance. Yeah, the knockback is 66% chance, and it does a 40% critical severity. So it packs a wallop, this rifle. In my other slot, I have a phaser assault minigun, which I've been using, which just wreaks havoc on within DPS. So, but I sort of bounce between those two things. I have a temporal flux generator, which is good whenever you get into a bind on the ground. The Gamma Quadrant Tribble, and a Horda. The Horda is always great to have as your friend, to do very minimal damage to your enemies, but it distracts them, and so you can, whack them hard. In my kit module, as you can see, she's a science officer. She's got science modules. She's got the unstable dampener, which is really cool. It's a epic kit module, and it does it creates a field on the first activation, and which drains energy from your foes, and the second, it gives a buff to your team with a 21.5 energy damage bonus, which is very nice. In the next slot, we have another epic hit module, the massive gravimetric detonation, which is great. What it does, it basically plants detonation fields around the target, and after 4 seconds, kablooey. Does a lot of damage to neighboring foes and your target. Next, we got the science. So we got another epic kit module, which is the active immunity overload, which basically is a healing buff for all your for your team. So when the fighting gets rough, you activate that, and everybody starts to heal, regenerate their hit points. We got reconstructive nanites, another epic kit module. This is helps your damage rating, and it also is another healing buff. So you want that. So it's lots of good stuff, in her belt. We also have the Cold Fusion Flash, which is an offensive epic hit module. What it does, it deals a wicked amount of cold damage upon activation on your target, and it roots them for 14 seconds. So, great module when you're in the midst of battle. It has an area of effect, cold damage, so within that area of 6 meters, all your targets are frozen for 14 seconds. Does not work very well on your bosses, unfortunately, sad to say. So during boss battles, it usually lasts maybe a second, if at all. Alright, well, that's about it for me for now. I'll see you next time. We're almost going to be leveling up for another skill point. And that's it. So we'll see you next time, and thanks for joining me.